Secret Service agents. So let's talk about authorities really quickly, all right? And we only gonna spend 10 minutes on this because I want to deep dive into car payments. I want to get into being black in corporate America. Somebody sent me an email of a video that was recently released of a man that's talking about his experience in corporate America and being black. I don't know if it's positive or negative, so we're gonna get into that. And we also want to get into the Biden freeze thing because it's becoming a big debate. But before we do that, there are Secret Service agents that's being robbed in Cali, and there's law enforcement that's being robbed and assaulted across the country by migrants. And so I want to bring a little bit of highlight to this before we continue on with the show. Check it out.
A U.S. Secret Service agent who was here for President Biden's visit to L.A. was robbed at gunpoint. Officials say the agent had just finished work when the armed robbery happened. Let's go live to Fox 11's Ed Laskos in Tustin tonight with the latest. Ed?
And Marla, all of this going down in this quiet upscale community. And if that's not enough, the neighbors now finding out that the one firing the gun shooting is a federal agent, a Secret Service agent. Watch. Gunfire in the affluent Tuscan Fields community off Edinger Ave. We now know it is an armed robbery and the target, a federal agent.
The community here is really shocked. They're just really surprised because it's a very quiet neighborhood and nothing really happens here. You know, we get the occasional porch pirate.
Only this is no porch pirate, and the victim is no helpless neighbor. It is a U.S. Secret Service agent, a Secret Service agent robbed at gunpoint.
We found out that it was like a Secret Service agent. It was like a shooting or something of that nature.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, it was really strange, really crazy.
It's got to be a very, very, very bad sign of the times when a Secret Service agent for the President of the United States of America is getting robbed. Thank you, Dylan KO. Thank you to everybody that support the platform. I'm going to read those shortly. Tam, you know what I'm saying? It's a heck of a day. It's a heck of a space to be in when we exist in a society where the president went for a fundraiser or he pops up at a space, a Secret Service agent is done doing his job as far as protecting the president, and he's getting robbed at gunpoint in a safe, in what supposedly being a safe neighborhood. You got the lady that's the head of the HOA is saying, oh man, I don't know what's going on over here. It's pretty bad considering that Secret Service agents are being robbed in California. I think that that's wild.
And it gets even crazier. There is gunfire. The agent is the one who opens fire on the robber.
I'm certainly glad it was him instead of me. At least he had the ability to take some defensive action.
These orange cones now turn to evidence markers placed on the ground by the spent shell casings. Count them, 1, 2, 3, 6 of them in all.
Definitely heard a lot of.
Counted them in real time.
I thought it was fireworks because it's almost 4th of July. Yeah. And it was maybe about 5 or 6, I thought, shots that I heard.
Not sure if the robber is hit. He grabs the agent's bag and then drives off in his getaway car. Here it is from nearby security cameras. It is a 2004-06 silver Infiniti FX35.
Stolen.
The Secret Service now out confirming it is one of their agents, but not the ones assigned to the protection detail for President.
Well, of course they're not going to say it was one that was assigned to the protection detail of the President of the United States of America. If it was, which we don't know either way if it was or not, why would they say that? Why would they ever say, oh yeah, it was one of them that... They can't do that. It's going to make the president look bad. It's going to make our country look even worse.
President Biden's L.A. visit last Saturday. Instead, the agent involved in the shooting, off duty at the time, returning from an assignment. Still, gunfire here and from a Fed, more than leaving its marks.
Kind of puts us on edge a little bit.
And they got away.
But obviously, we have caring neighbors.
And somebody is going to have that as a part of they hood credentials. Man, you know what, bro? I robbed a Secret Service agent. Can't none of y'all say that. Can't none of y'all say, ain't none of y'all got them type of stripes. Bro, I ran up on a Secret Service agent, took his stuff, and then got and dipped out on him right after he came back from protecting the president, big dog.
Here, and so we feel safe. You know, I think it's just a one-off incident.
I wouldn't feel safe.
Now, that's what they're hoping. Another neighbor saying it's really a sign that something like this could happen anywhere. Doesn't make a difference, she said. So as the investigation goes on tonight, they are still trying to find that robber to see if he was hit by gunfire, to see if the agent was a good shot. They're also trying to find that getaway car. And the neighbors around here, as they say, just trying to catch their breath, hoping this won't happen again.
But it's not the only thing that was happening against law enforcement over this past week. Also, armed migrants carjacked an NYPD officer at gunpoint in Harlem. Check it out.
Now, two armed men believed to be Venezuelan migrants carjacked an off-duty NYPD officer in Harlem. Congressman Mike Lawler, Republican from New York State, joins me now. Congressman, what's the solution here? How do we stop this surge in migrant crime?
Well, we need to secure the border, Stuart.
But we're not going to.
More border personnel. We need more court personnel to hear these asylum cases expeditiously. We need to stop the Biden administration's catch and release program. Since Joe Biden took office, over 10 million migrants have crossed our southern border, most of them illegally, 90% being released into the country. And when these asylum cases are finally heard, Stuart, 70% of them are rejected.
Exactly.
This is an absolute disaster created by Joe Biden. And you not only have innocent people getting murdered, obviously you have...
I've always been amazed when you walk down New York City, because they'll crack down on like vendors that are selling on the side of the bridge and stuff like that. I've done shows where I basically broke down how they've started to eliminate everything that was happening on the Brooklyn Bridge and stuff like that, right? But when you walk in New York, and I don't care where you are, you can be in Brooklyn, you can be in Times Square, you can be all over the city itself. I mean, Queens, Harlem, you take your pick. There are people selling stolen fenced goods or fake products on the street with no reservation whatsoever. And now what they've done is they've incentivized migrants to do the same thing. So the migrants go in and they steal stuff out of the stores, or they start to fence stuff, or whatever it is that they want to do, right? And they take what they want, and then they go out on the street and they sell them. And ain't nobody even tripping about it. They ain't worried about getting caught. When you used to, back in my day, right, it used to be a thing to get what they call the booster, right? And the booster was person that basically, was selling you the clothes. It was like Tyrese. Tyrese was the booster. You know what I'm saying? From Baby Boy. When he would go out and he would be selling women's clothes and all of this other type of stuff. It was a thing, and we called them boosters. Back in the, oh, you got a booster, fam? Oh, okay, cool. I see you, big dog. Now, everybody is the booster, because you walking in Macy's, you going to Nordstrom's, they hitting up the stores, they go in and taking whatever it is that they want. And then they just go out on the street and they just sell it on the street, and we just walk past it like it's cool. And I be seeing people actually walking up to the street, people like, what, you thought that Louis Vuitton bag was real? You thought that was real? That's Vampire Life. That's Jim Jones brand. That is not Louis Vuitton. That is Vampire Life. Y'all ever heard of Vampire Life, Jim Jones? Don't worry about it.
Cops getting carjacked. You have cops getting assaulted. You had cops just a few weeks ago getting shot by illegal immigrants. So this is absolutely out of control. And this is a result of Democrats'
I'm sorry, I just want to add to this, because we just got some new data on the numbers here. Internal federal data shows ICE's non-detained docket has exploded to a staggering 7.4 million cases.
Crazy.
Now, those are migrants who have been released into the United States pending a court appearance. That's 7.4 million people. Just this is extraordinary. But what are we going to do? You can't deport all of those people. What are we going to do?
Look, at the end of the Trump administration, we were down to below 400,000 border crossings a year. Since Joe Biden took office, it's over 3 million a year. It's crazy. You can't sustain this as a country. And so we obviously need to deal with the immigration crisis long term. I've said this many times. My wife is an immigrant. I've been through this system. It's a fundamentally broken system. But we obviously need to reform it, because doing nothing is not actually solving the problem. It's making it worse. But you have to start with the border. You have to show the American people that we're serious about stopping this mass influx. And so it's not just migrants. It's
Nikes,
drugs,
Jordans from Temu.
Fentanyl pouring into our communities, killing tens of thousands of Americans a year. This is an existential crisis that the Biden administration, despite his ridiculous executive order from 2 weeks ago, is doing nothing to address.
One more for you, Congressman. A synagogue in New York City was defaced with anti-Israel graffiti. It follows a week-long escalation of anti-Semitic incidents in this city. Where is Senator Schumer? He's the highest-ranking Jewish elected official in government. He's issued a statement, but we've got no action on his part or anybody else, frankly.
Well, he's too busy trying to figure out how to use a grill, putting cheese on a raw burger. Just comical. But look, Chuck Schumer, the highest ranking Jewish official in American history, is sitting on a bill right now, the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, which I passed through the House, 320 to 91, which would help to define anti-Semitism and allow colleges and universities to start cracking down on it and force the Department of Education to crack down on it. That is an immediate step that Chuck Schumer can and should take to help us combat anti-Semitism as it explodes across America. And he is doing nothing but sitting on it and standing in the way. It is shameful. It is disgraceful. And folks should call Senator Schumer's office and demand an up or down vote. It will pass overwhelmingly.
We don't need any more voting, honestly. I don't care about bipartisan agreement. I don't care about any of that stuff. The only thing I care about is fixing this country and closing off our borders and then doing things legally. I know that there's an agenda. I know that there's a ton of money that's being made from trafficking people inside of the United States of America while y'all throw human trafficking charges on people that's out here pimping. And I don't agree with pimping either and putting these chicks out on the street. But they'll trump up and throw human trafficking charges on that person, give them 440 million years inside of prison. Meanwhile, it's a whole lot of people profiting off of people getting inside of this country. I don't know who getting the kickback. I don't know how profitable it is for certain people. And then we also know that because it's a lot of people that's not having children, and because y'all have now realized that you don't want to be a part of the slave culture, it's a lot of people that's not basically breeding children and become the workers of America. Now they're flooding in the borders, and there's so many different reasons why they're trying to incentivize people to come over here, and they're not closing it off. And they know that you don't care about it because they're not going to do it the right way because you just going to let it fly because you're not even tripping about it because you're more concerned about abortion rights or whether or not, I don't know, man. This is so dumb. This is the dumbest thing ever. I'll just be so aggravated about all of the nonsense that's happening and people get away with it. We just a lawless land. Secret Service agents is getting robbed. Migrants is over here carjacking NYPD officers over in Harlem. It's just bad all across the board, bro. Honestly, it's seriously bad across the board. Let me read.